I called Giorgio and I said, Giorgio, I think I have an idea for a song, because at that point I was doing some demos for him, but he was writing them. And I said, I have this really good idea, and I kept singing the thought to myself.
When Donna Summer suddenly revealed the most famous lesbian relationships of the Golden Age, Hollywood was silent. Were those relationships real? What kept them hidden for decades? Let's explore the 5 most famous lesbian relationships that shook Hollywood's backstage during the Golden Age. And if you think secret romances are just Hollywood gossip, take a look at one of the most talked about names in the underground files, Barbara Stanwyck and Ruby Dandridge. According to some film historians and unofficial records from people who worked in the industry at the time, Barbara Stanwyck and Ruby Dandridge lived together for a short period in the late 1940s. Their relationship was described as a level of intimacy that exceeded social norms, something that Hollywood quietly discussed but no one dared to speak out about. Ruby Dandridge was one of the very few women of color who were accepted in Hollywood in a limited way, mainly through supporting roles, maids, and nannies. She came from a humble background but was known for her charm, intelligence, and wide connections in the black entertainment industry in Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Stanwyck, considered one of the uncrowned queens of the silver screen, lived away from the media after her controversial divorce from actor Robert Taylor. She often avoided the press and kept her private life private, especially after rumors about her sexuality and inappropriate lifestyle began to spread. Ruby's constant presence at Stanwyck's private home, even being seen together at small events or on vacations, was a rarity in a time when racism was still rife. Ruby was more than just a visitor. She was a part of Stanwyck's daily life, from personal activities to private moments, even living for a time in the annex behind Barbara's Beverly Hills mansion. Some sources even claim that Ruby was financially sponsored by Stanwyck and put to work on her hand-picked film sets. The friendship between a white star and a woman of color in that era was already surprising. But the fact that the two women lived and shared personal space for so long, without any men present, led many observers to believe that there was something much more complex between them than a relationship between colleagues or friends. In the American context at the time, homosexuality was not only considered shameful, but could also ruin a career. If Stanwyck had come out as gay, she could have lost all her film contracts, been blacklisted by major studios, and been crushed by the media. Her choice to keep her private life to such an extreme level, never admitting or denying it publicly, was seen as a choice of survival. For many researchers, that was the greatest tragedy of stars like Stanwyck. They could conquer Hollywood but were never allowed to be true to themselves, and the relationship with Ruby Dandridge, if it was a love affair, was buried in silence, a bitter reminder that not every love in Hollywood's golden age was given the chance to be recognized in the limelight. If Stanwyck and Ruby Dandridge's relationship was one of quiet intimacy and commitment, what follows is a whirlwind of fascination and adventure between two of Hollywood's sexiest icons, Joan Crawford and Marilyn Monroe. In the history of Hollywood's mysteries of the Golden Age, few relationships have been as short-lived and controversial as those between Joan Crawford, a film icon with a cold beauty and a steely personality, and Marilyn Monroe, the sex bomb of the 50s, who brought a feeling of fragility, charm, and complexity. Between the two was a gap in generation, status, and acting school, but it was those differences that created a surprising night, passed down by word of mouth as one of Hollywood's unspoken stories. A secret night of love between Crawford and Monroe, said to have taken place after a lavish party in Beverly Hills, where Hollywood's elite often sought pleasures that escaped social norms. According to some close people, that night, Crawford, experienced, sharp and very good at controlling the atmosphere, took the initiative to approach Monroe, who was in a fragile and insecure period after a series of failures in her personal life and career. Amid the champagne, soft jazz music, and dim lights, there was something between them that went beyond the level of normal conversation. The story would have been just a one-night stand full of hidden meanings if not for the developments that followed. Joan Crawford, famous for her extremely high self-esteem and sensitivity to face, felt insulted when Monroe, in her words, completely ignored her after that night. In a rare interview, Crawford later sarcastically said that Monroe was disrespectful and didn't know how to behave like a lady. Although she did not elaborate, observers at the time understood this to be a deeply personal insinuation, possibly stemming from emotional frustration. The existence of this relationship is reinforced by many behind-the-scenes sources, from personal assistants, maids, to longtime friends of both. Some memoirs, such as Susan Strasberg, daughter of Lee Strasberg, head of the studio actors, also mentioned that Monroe had many deep connections with women, especially those who worked closely with her. Natascha Littes, a German acting teacher, is one of the typical examples. During nearly 6 years working with Monroe, Littes was not only a mentor but also lived with Monroe, took care of her when she was sick, and was there for her most fragile moments. This relationship was repeatedly intervened in by Hollywood directors at that time because it was too normal. Monroe once confided, "She cared for me more than I cared for myself." Not everyone does that, especially in Hollywood. And that's what many lesbian scholars and popular culture have in common with women like Crawford and Littes. Loneliness, distrust of male authority, and a desire to connect deeply, both emotionally and physically, with another. Though Monroe and Crawford never admitted it publicly, Crawford's cold fury and Monroe's silent avoidance confirmed what many in the industry had whispered. They had each other, if only for a brief moment. In an industry where public image can be everything, they chose to remain silent to protect their careers and each other. But as one former MGM PR person put it, Hollywood silences can sometimes speak louder than confessions. But is there any couple from Hollywood's golden age that has had a longer and deeper bond? One of the most enduring and little-known lesbian relationships in film history, Katharine Hepburn and Laura Harding. Katharine Hepburn, the 4-time Oscar-winning actress with a strong style and a unique genderless personality, is one of the rare icons of Hollywood's golden age, who chose to remain unmarried. By her side was Laura Harding, her housemate for more than 25 years, who came from an aristocratic family and was considered Hepburn's unnamed wife. The relationship between Katharine Hepburn and Laura Harding could not simply be considered a friendship or a normal colleague relationship. These two women were attached for more than 25 years, with a closeness and intimacy that surpassed all standards of friends at the time. They often appeared together at social events, traveled to many places around the world, and shared their daily lives as the closest of friends. Their mutual care and concern for each other was not only a manifestation of ordinary friendship, but also a deep, strong, and understanding relationship. This is what makes many historians, especially LGBT historians, believe that Hepburn and Harding were a lesbian couple with a long-term and committed love. What is special is that in the memoirs and official stories about Hepburn's life, she rarely mentioned her love affairs with men, except for her deep and long-lasting relationship with actor Spencer Tracy, a widely known love story. However, the fact is that most of Hepburn's private life was devoted to Laura Harding, her steadfast companion, who lived with her and shared all the ups and downs for more than 2 decades. Queer historians have analyzed many sources, from photographs, accounts from relatives and friends, to Hepburn's daily routines, to support the hypothesis that this was her most intimate and secretive love affair. This relationship is also considered a testament to a secretive type of love hidden in the context of American society in the mid-20th century, which was very conservative and did not accept public homosexual relationships. Hepburn and Harding chose to live together quietly, keeping their feelings a private but also very lasting secret, as a testament to the loyalty and fidelity and love between two women. Many experts consider this to be one of the most influential and historically significant lesbian love stories in Hollywood's golden age. From the quiet and profound love of Katharine Hepburn and Laura Harding, we continue to explore another personality-filled and controversial couple from Hollywood's golden age, Tallulah Bankhead and Hattie McDaniel. Was their famous friendship just a close bond, or was there a surprising lesbian relationship? Let's find out this little-known story in the next part. Tallulah Bankhead and Hattie McDaniel. Tallulah Bankhead and Hattie McDaniel are two unique and distinctive figures in the history of Golden Age Hollywood, each with their own distinct and prominent mark. Tallulah, known for her free-spirited lifestyle, frankness, and public relationships with both men and women, was always the center of attention because of her outspoken personality and unlimited personal freedom. In contrast, Hattie McDaniel, the first Black actress to win an Oscar, was more private about her personal life and never married, but had a profound influence and respect in the film industry. The relationship between Tallulah Bankhead and Hattie McDaniel was not simply a personal affair. but also a strong symbol of the breaking of strict social norms during the golden age of Hollywood. In the context of the 1930s and 1940s, when racism and gender stereotypes were still huge barriers in social life and the entertainment industry, the existence of a transracial lesbian couple was an extremely bold and meaningful thing. Netflix recreated this story in the series Hollywood as a way for modern audiences to feel some of the weight and meaning of that relationship. Although there is no official document or solid evidence to confirm the romantic relationship between Tallulah and Hattie, many people in the art world, friends, colleagues, and people who've been in contact with them all recount that there was a very intimate bond between the two, far beyond the normal relationship of friends or colleagues. This intimacy was seen as a carefully hidden love in an era when coming out was impossible, especially for women of color and gay people. Their caring gestures, frequent appearances together, and mutual support in difficult circumstances are all noted as evidence of a deep, albeit hidden, relationship. From the perspective of the LGBTQ+ community and cultural researchers, the story of Tallulah and Hattie is not only a testament to same-sex love, but also a powerful symbol of breaking the double stereotype. Being both a lesbian and a woman of color in a society full of discrimination and prejudice, their relationship symbolizes courage, resilience, and determination to pursue personal freedom, overcoming all social limitations to be true to oneself. They have inspired many generations to come to fight for personal freedom and equality, not only in love but in all aspects of life. As a result, while their relationship remains largely hidden in the shadows of history, its impact is far-reaching and enduring. Became an important part of the LGBTQ+ rights narrative and the history of the fight against racism in Hollywood and around the world. It is a living testament to the fact that love and courage can overcome all barriers, even those that seem insurmountable. And now, have you ever wondered about the secret places where Hollywood's golden age female stars often went to be true to themselves? One of the most famous places is the Garden of Alla, the place associated with the name Alla Nazimova and other famous lesbian relationships. Let's explore the interesting story behind Alla Nazimova and Alla's Garden, a pioneer in being true to herself and openly homosexual. During a time in Hollywood that was highly traditional and repressive, Alla Nazimova was not only a superb stage and film star of the night, but she was also a pioneer in remaining true to herself. Nazimova courageously presented herself as a lesbian, which was not only an uncommon occurrence, but also exceedingly daring and hazardous if it was found by society or the media. This was in contrast to the majority of artists working during that period, who were required to conceal their private characteristics out of fear of suffering condemnation. As a result of her forthrightness, she became one of the earliest people in the art world to represent freedom and variety. It was not just a place to live, but also a distinctive area where major lesbian artists of the time convened. Notable names like as Marlene Dietrich and Greta Garbo, along with many other significant women in the art world, were among those who frequented the Garden of Alla villa that she established in Hollywood. Garden of Alla became a second home for lesbian women, a secure and private sanctuary where they could freely express their feelings and real selves without fear of being criticized or compromising their jobs. Garden of Alla was known as Hollywood's first secret queer community, and it became a second home for lesbian women. There was a strong community that was developed here as a result of the intimate atmosphere and profound connection that existed here. This community served as a place to foster talent as well as a place to hide stories of same-sex love. Mercedes da Costa, a female writer and screenwriter who was also Alla Nazimova's renowned lesbian lover, was the most notable of the numerous enduring and profound connections that Alla Nazimova had with women in her private life. She was the woman with whom she had the most significant relationship. When they were together, their relationship was not just about love, it was also about sharing, understanding, and supporting each other in a culture that still regarded lesbian partnerships to be taboo. Nazimova's love tales with her female lovers have become a symbol of courage, the yearning for freedom, and the right to be true to oneself, despite the obstacles and severe societal biases that exist in the world. As a result of Alla Nazimova's bravery and the manner in which she lived her life, a significant foundation was established for lesbian culture inside the entertainment business. This set the groundwork for several generations of artists to have the confidence to acknowledge and live their true selves, She was a spiritual godmother in the world of show business, which is notorious for high levels of control and pressure to conceal one's identity. She was a source of inspiration for personal freedom and acceptance of gender variety, and she contributed to the gradual transformation in public view and attitude toward the LGBTQ population in the film industry. Alla Nazimova is still known as a legend, not only for her brilliance, but also for her unyielding heart and pioneering spirit. This is because she has made significant contributions and has been present throughout her whole life. And what do you think about these relationships? Are they considered normal? Comment 1 if you agree. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next video.